Hi guys, Sci-Fi Recapped here. Before we start, warning, spoilers ahead. Today, I'm going to explain a 2020 American science fantasy movie called Secret Society of Second-Born Royals. The movie begins in Illyria, the smallest country in Europe, where Samantha, the second daughter of the royal family of Illyria, isn't treated like a princess since she is not the eldest daughter in the family. However, her older sister Eleanor always gets whatever she wants. To make things worse for Sam, her father, the king of Illyria, died in a plane crash with his brother. Therefore, Sam's mother, Catherine, took over the throne to lead the country under her command. In a few weeks, Eleanor is going to turn 18 and she will be crowned as the Queen of Illyria to replace her mother, while Sam's presence is never considered in the family. Living her life as a normal kid, Sam hangs out with anyone. One of them is Mike, the son of a groundskeeper in the kingdom. Since the country adopts a monarchy system, they conduct an anti-monarchy campaign by performing rock music on the streets, attracting people nearby and the police officer. Sam attempts to distract the cops with her skateboard skill, but she eventually hits a traffic sign and gets arrested. She is then brought back to her mom in the palace, where she explains that people are unhappy with the government system, but Catherine denies that, saying that they are just a minority. The next day at school, she comes across another second-born royal named Roxana, who is quite popular and loves to do live streaming. The scene moves to a high-security prison that is specifically built for the most notorious criminals in the world. There, two guards are seen delivering food to a man called Inmate 34. He finds a capacitor hidden inside an apple and installs it to a device that allows him to break free from the neck cuff. He regains his power and uses his telekinesis power to break the door and escapes from the facility. Meanwhile, Mike and Sam are practicing in a music studio for their concert inside the palace. The boy invites Sam to come to the Bramblebone concert with him, which she agrees to. He is surprised and confused when Sam manages to smell the garlic naan in his mouth, which he ate 2 days ago. Sam comes across the old stuff of her and her father and recalls the memory of her father used to call him Snowflakes because she was so special to him. That night, she attends a pre-event before the coronation of Eleanor and suddenly remembers that she has promised Mike to come to a party with him. She lies to her mother, immediately changes her appearance into a rock girl, and then catches up with Mike. However, since both of them don't have ID cards, they are forbidden to enter the building. They luckily come across the workers at the back door, and Sam somehow manages to see the guy entering the door's passcode from a distance, which surprises Mike. They then get into the building and enjoy the party, where Sam suddenly is able to hear every sound that is occurring in the club, including heartbeat and the sound of insect buzzing. She feels uncomfortable and dizzy at the same time, forcing her to trigger the fire alarm to stop the concert. Because of that, they get arrested again. Mike realizes that something is wrong with his friend since that moment when she was able to smell what he had had for lunch 2 days ago. Not long after, they are released and are picked up by their parents. Catherine decides to send her daughter to a summer school to make up for missing her test. Meanwhile, Inmate 34 secretly calls his partner, praising him or her for the Apple idea. It is revealed that Catherine is the one who put him in the cell. While waiting for his move, he keeps strengthening his telekinesis skill and secretly stalks Sam. The next day, she attends the summer school where she meets January, claiming that her dad was friends with Sam's uncle. There is also a socially awkward Mateo, Tuma, and of course the popular Roxana. A few moments later, the teacher responsible for the summer class, Professor James Morrow, shows up at the class. He then reveals that each of them is a second-born royal, and they secretly possess a unique superpower without them realizing. He adds that the purpose of the summer school is to train them to join the secret society of second-born royals. Turns out that Catherine is the head of the society program, which shocks Sam. She explains that the society was formed to protect the monarchies from threats and criminals all around the world. The bad news is, the students who do not pass the training will have their memory erased and they won't remember that they have the superpower. They begin their first training where they are ordered to reach the pyramid. However, it's not as easy as it seems. The room is filled with laser weapons which shoot the cocky Tuma. Slow but sure, the students begin to discover their own superpower one by one. Roxana realizes that she has the power to be invisible, while Tuma's power is to influence people to do whatever he commands. On the other hand, Sam's super sense makes her to be more sensitive to surroundings, allowing her to act faster than the others. Long story short, all of the students are beaten by the first challenge. After that, January discovers her superpower, which allows her to steal others' power temporarily by touching them, while Mateo manages to control insects. After the session, the girls share their problems as the second born in the family to each other when Sam's backup phone suddenly rings. The next day, the students continue their training, where Jamex explains that they need to be able to control their powers. Because they have a unique superpower, James assigns a specialized training for each of them. Sam is told to focus on voices to sharpen her super senses, while Tuma is given a dog named Charlie to improve his interactions with others. On the other side, Roxana is forced to bring out her superpower under the extreme weather, while Mateo is practicing his control over the insects. January is brought to a swimming pool where she has to maintain her stolen power from Anna, whose ability is breathing underwater. James even tests his students in lunch by deliberately bringing Sam poisoned food to sharpen her senses. January then shares her favorite apple to her. That night, Mike's dad spots his son calling the princess. He advises him not to get too close to the royals because they are not on his level. The next day, Sam approaches her mother, who surprisingly shows her an underground headquarters where a lot of unique stuff is stored there. One of them is a DNA-based nanodevice that can target specific people with specific genetic sequences. Catherine gives her some tricks to master her superpower. After that, all of the students have managed to master their own superpower except Roxana. Sam manages to guess correctly some of the voices, Mateo is getting better at controlling the bees, Charlie obeys Tuma's orders, and January hits her best records in holding breath underwater. Since Roxana is the one who is not progressing, James deliberately threatens to do a live streaming of her with messy hair and no makeup. With this trick, Roxana eventually manages to bring out his invisibility power. The students eventually have reached their peak and James is very happy with the result. Later that night, Sam is supposed to do a street concert with Mike. However, James suddenly awakens the students, forcing them to do their very first mission to protect a jewel from being stolen. They arrive at the location, and Sam manages to spot the thief with her super senses. They chase after the thief, only to find out that she is actually January's coach. They have been tricked and fail to protect the jewel. James is disappointed with them and decides to cancel the following day's training. Sam apologizes to Mike for not coming, but she is prohibited from telling him what is happening to her right now, which makes him upset. The next day, because it's their free day, they decide to go on a short vacation to the beach. After having fun, Sam is getting closer with January, and she invites her to the palace. They sneak in, and she shows January her dedicated music studio, where she reveals that her dad purposely converted the tower into the studio only for her. Suddenly, Mike shows up at the studio and is totally upset when he learns that Sam is having fun without him. A few moments later, inmate 34 appears and attacks the students with telekinesis. Before he runs away, she hears him call her Snowflake, an alias only her father called her. James orders them to calm down, but Sam disobeys and chases after him. She manages to locate him in the woods where James tries to protect Sam, but gets severely beaten up. He reveals to Sam that he is her uncle, Edmund, just before January arrives and punches him away with the stolen power. The teacher is hospitalized. Catherine eventually has to reveal the truth to her daughter, explaining that Edmund killed her father to seize the throne. That's why she locked him up in the prison. Sam demands to see Edmund, figuring out that he is indeed her uncle. He explains that his real motive was to tear down the monarchy so that people could live equally. He lost his patience waiting for Sam's father to make change, so he murdered him. She then meets her older sister, who tells Sam that she will bring change to the kingdom as soon as she becomes the queen. Meanwhile, the students agree to attend Eleanor's coronation to support Sam. That night, Sam decides to visit James at the hospital. She apologizes to him, and he forgives her. The coronation day has come, where every single important royal in the world is attending the event. However, Tuma is somehow unable to use his superpower there, while January, equipped herself with persuasive superpower stolen from Tuma, silently sneaks into the underground headquarters. She orders the guard to free Edmund from his custody, and it is revealed that she was the one who did the apple trick. She then gets back to her friends, ordering them to follow her and lock them inside the cell. Mateo informs Sam about January through one of his bees. With her super senses, she manages to track Edmund and immediately chases after him. The ceremony is now in progress, and Edmund arrives at the cathedral, setting up a nano device that will wipe out everyone with a royal bloodline. Meanwhile, Sam realizes that January is going after her, so she runs to Mike's house and asks for his help. At first, he refuses to help her, but Sam apologizes and reveals her secret to him. They eventually team up and manage to take out January, who admits that she made a deal with Edmund so that she could rule. They regroup with the other students and decide to stop Edmund together. He claims that a world without royals will give freedom to other people. Sam, Tuma, and Roxana manage to distract him and successfully lure him to a room where a miniaturized chamber has been installed to weaken his telekinesis. Mike reprogrammed the nano device, which eventually traps Edmund inside. On the other side, the coronation is completed without any distraction, and Eleanor has officially become Illyria's new queen. Sam, Roxana, Mateo, and Tuma finally get accepted into the society as James recovers from his injuries. Catherine reveals the secret society to the new queen, who promises to Sam that she will give the people of Illyria a choice by adding parliament alongside the monarchy. The society is informed that January has escaped and challenges them to find her. With their newest suit, they proceed to the next mission. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.